who do you respect in your field? What do you read? Do you read other rating services and firms, or kind of where does an advisor gather their information? Which I know is a very broad question, but something maybe we can both touch on.
Yeah, this can't be. Gosh, I'm not that interesting of a person. Ask anybody, really. Ask my family.
The person that asked that question said, "You got books behind you, so what do you have there?"
Oh, that's funny. You know what? That's I can get to that if anyone's really that interested. There are. The older I get, the longer I do this, the more I realize that there aren't really a lot of brand new ideas out there, and really much of anything in the world. And I think it's important to have a good long-term historical perspective. And so, specifically to the investment space, this book is not on my desk, but I can walk over. Sorry, I just moved. It's I moved stuff around. It was over there. I think I moved over here. One of the classics, Jeremy Siegel, Stocks for the Long Run, an absolutely fantastic read. It's unfortunately it's a little bit technical, but I wouldn't say it's beyond people's grasp. If you want to have a good long-term perspective on how to build wealth, it's just one of the classics. It's probably on the 7th or 8th edition by now, and I just wholeheartedly recommend that one to folks. The one there's what did Warren Buffett read? He studied underneath a guy named Benjamin Graham. Benjamin Graham wrote a book called The Intelligent Investor back in the 30s, I think. It's way back there. It's a classic as well. I wouldn't say it's a real fun read, and it's pretty dry and technical, but it has become the basis of really a lot of good long-term investment advice. So those are ones you can sort of take a look at. What's on my desk? You would think the stuff on my desk would be full of technical reading about the investments and markets, right? Top book on there is a book about Stoic philosophy. I start every day with this book. I read a passage out of that. The other couple of books that are sitting over there are some perspective on almost like a long-term view of our profession. What is it that we should be doing for clients versus what is it that most advisors do for clients? And advertising and telling everybody how great we are is really not what motivates us. It's really having a better perspective on how can we make a bigger difference in clients' lives? How can we be someone who partners alongside them to help them do what is in their best interest, and then keep them on track when those inevitable times come up, whether it's a global pandemic that no one saw coming and the market reaction to that, or get back to the late 1990s during the dot-com era when anyone who was preaching the value of dividend stocks, like, why would you do something so boring? I could be making a ton of money on these dot-coms. And, we had to be able to pull people back from the brink on that as well. And so that long-term perspective is mostly what's sitting in my desk over here.
Yeah, a couple of things I'll add to that. So the long-term perspective, as Eric said, those books are written by a gentleman named Nick Murray. So there's another book that he wrote so he writes a ton of stuff for advisors to follow. And again, we talked about what is your fee for? Again, if you ask an advisor what's their fee for, they might jump into performance, they might jump into all kinds of different things. Ultimately, that was going to say, so that book is more for the individual investors, Simple Wealth, Inevitable Wealth. So that's a good recommendation by Nick Murray, who's again, who wrote the other books on Eric's desk. So I was going to mention that. We pass that out to clients pretty frequently. It's a great book about just the long-term perspective of the markets and how you stay in them and have the discipline to stay in them and plan around how to stay in the market. You'll be rewarded for that.
Yeah, if you're really bored, there's this book. Saying,
Yeah.